What's the longest you've gone without actually working on a film? Like actively, I don't mean just writing or whatever else, right? Because, there's obviously times of that. But when you look at, since you started acting in let's just say the last 20 years, how much time has passed before you were actually on set filming something, whether it's TV or movies? What was the longest amount of time where you were sitting at home not
Brother, I never thought to even single that out. It would feel, I would say, 3 months.
3 months.
It feels like it might have been 3 months. It could have been longer.
Huh.
But yeah, I don't recall a whole year or 6 months without working. And which is a trip because I turn down far more roles than I accept. Yeah, so sometimes, I could be like, I could use that money, but no. I could use this money, but no. That whole thing, because let me tell you, it really affords you more money down the line if you know where you stand.
I just want to ask you this before I get off the topic. Well, you've seen Hollywood have a hot actor or actress, and then they go years without getting a role. Like Jeffrey Owens became famous again when he was filmed working at Trader Joe's. And he talked about how after the Cosby Show, he hasn't had many roles, but he's still kind of at it and so forth. What do you think, if you were to say the biggest difference between an actor like yourself that hasn't gone more than 3 months without working 30-something years in versus someone who gets a role every couple of years, if they're lucky?
Well, this industry it's in the business of pigeonholing, right? And you have to fight against that. It would be very easy for me to be pigeonholed as the black tough guy that gets killed or shot or what have you.
But you do play the black tough guy in most of your films, in almost all your films.
No, I don't think so.
No?
I mean, not well, there's a toughness that comes along with, especially with the action stuff, of course.
Right, but most of your work is action films, isn't it? Is that safe to say?
I'm wondering, for a long time, it actually I had more comedy work than dramatic and action.
Well,
but it could be kind of changing at this point.
Well, okay.
I'm doing a lot more action now.
Black Dynamite is comedy, but it's also action. It's both.
True.
Right? Johnny Black, once again, comedy, but also definitely action. So,
right. Yeah, but a lot of my TV stuff has been
straight comedy.
Yeah, it has been comedy. I'm hired to bring the comedy to things. Well,
I guess you're more comedy on TV and more action on film. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. Because in Kingdom Business, I brought drama, but more of the comedy part of it. And so it's weird, but I seldom stop and assess what I've done. I'm always looking through the windshield rather than the rearview mirror. But yeah, I think it's the pigeonholing thing. Well, now it's more of a brand for me. But say with certain characters, I try to express this to actors. You may represent a character, the majority are playing a character who's bounced off of a lead character, right? So here's a lead character who has a lot of attributes about themselves. That's why they're a lead. And the friend base is somebody's zany, somebody's dumb, another person's a brainiac, whatever. And so those type of roles tend to go to people who that's in their wheelhouse. That's their brand, their mark. And so when somebody's a character actor, it's difficult if they don't have other characters that they can draw from. You know what I'm saying? So it's tough for, and I'm not saying it's impossible, but if someone sees Alfonso Ribeiro, so of course he'd probably like to play a thug, but is that within you? Or somebody would like to play the opposites. That's the task that the actor has to face. Or you'd have to face the fact that your limitations are just right there. And then nowadays you have to then create your own avenues. again, nobody was going to write Black Dynamite for me. You know what
True.
I mean? That's never going to happen. Outlaw Johnny Black, a lot of these things, Undisputed, Never Back Downs, those things, they weren't going to write those things for me. You know what I'm saying? And so now you got to kind of, claw your way, your path. You got to try to do that. But I had to have things behind me to be able to do that. So it's a little tricky. I remember when we talked about the whole business and we were talking about Taraji, the situation, and I was saying how my advice is to, she could then create her own avenues, but it's a little rough if that's not what you're trying to do. You want to be on a level playing field with others. And by the way, Taraji's in Why Did I Get Married 3 with us, and it was the first time working with her, which was wonderful.
Oh, okay, that was the first time you guys ever worked together.
My first time working with her.
Oh, okay. How was she?
Oh man, we had too much fun.
Okay.
It was too much fun.
Love it.
Yeah, but so it's tricky. My heart goes out to a lot of actors, but I encourage everybody in this business to learn all you can. I mean, that person behind the camera, the one that's doing the lighting and doing all of this and you don't know what that is, ask those questions. Knowledge is always going to make you powerful. So a lot of my actor friends sometimes never bother to learn other aspects. And sometimes when you don't learn those other aspects, you don't know how you fit in. And you're looking at it from just an actor standpoint and you're going, please hire me, please hire me. And then what happens is you start to lose yourself to the desire of acting when it should be yourself no matter what. If they don't hire you, that's their problem. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people's hearts are just on the pavement because they feel like they've been rejected. And I always say, they can't reject you. They don't know you. They rejected, I guess, portrayal that you had, but you can't take that serious. It's all business. But yeah, it's tougher now for actors than it has been in a long time.